Chardonnay needs canes to have its fruit on, because the bunches are so small that if, as we're going to be talking about in a little while, the Zinfandel, if it was pruned like the Zinfandel, you wouldn't get enough crop off of it. So what we have here is this, if you can see it, this is last year's wood. Most, if not all, fruits on year-old wood. So you need to have a cane that's a year old to have fruit on, and you can see the immature. You can see the immature bunches right here. They haven't flowered yet. We're getting real close to flowering. So this cane, as you can see, the wood's hardened off it, or it's gray. One of these will be next year's cane. So when you're pruning a vine like this, you're pruning for the vintage coming up, and literally 2 or 3 vintages in the future, because every cut you make is going to influence the future of that vine. The other interesting aspect of grapes is that when they bud out, like a month ago there was nothing on this vine, and then as they start to push these little buds, the very first thing that comes out is the fruit, is the immature clusters. See how close that cluster is to the cane? So when that vine comes out in the spring, the very first thing that comes out is the eventual fruit for that vintage. So this fruit, now it's the next stage that it's going to go through. All these little that looks like actual grapes, but they're actually going to be flowers, and they're going to open up and become a flower. The interesting thing there again about grapes is they're self-pollinating. So you'll have the bottom of the flower and then a pestle that comes out, and it actually fertilizes itself. So it reduces the potential of not having a good set. But during that period, when the vines are flowering, wind, too much wind, if it gets extremely hot, it'll wither the flowers. In the old timers, when their vineyards were flowering, wouldn't allow anyone even to walk through the vineyard, because it was so important just to have as much stillness in the vineyard as possible. The other interesting thing, we've had normal rainfall, or maybe even a little above normal rainfall through the winter season, but we've gone through a period of almost 60 days without any rain. So the real interesting dilemma with the frost coming in this year was that when the thermometer, or when the temperature actually got down to 34 degrees, the vines were starting to freeze, because the wind, which blows through the vineyards at night, is usually prevents the frost from settling onto the immature buds. But this year, because of the extreme dryness, we had a wind chill factor. Instead of that breeze helping, it actually encouraged frost, and it dropped the temperature to below 32 and injured some of the plant tissue and ultimately the bunches. Then we had a little bit of rain, like a 1/4 inch of rain, that put enough moisture in the air that the following frosts weren't as severe in terms of that wind chill. But still, up in Redwood Valley in Mendocino, I think they had almost 30 days in a row of the potential of frost. So it was an extremely difficult springtime, early springtime. I mean, we haven't had any frost probably for 2 or 3, 4 years. And then to get one that was the worst since 1969-70 was very, very stressful.